When I was a little kid, I wanted to be an archaeologist. I would like dig holes in my backyard because I was convinced there were dinosaur bones under there somewhere.
I'm not the only one.
My parents were not happy about that. But, and then I wanted to be a special effects guy for the movies. After I discovered Star Wars at about 14, 15, I was like, I want to do that. So I would like blow up, I would like rig little models with M80s and stuff, and then I would shoot them, like I'd hang them from wire, like, and I'd move them in front of the camera and then blow them up in slow motion, and I just love special effects, and so that's something else that I want to do. But one of those things I think I would probably do. And if I had to pick somebody to do it with, wow, it would probably be a cross between maybe Steve Bloom, who some of you met last year, right? Yeah. And maybe Todd Havercorn. Todd, a lot of you don't know, it's funny because I want to say he's new to the voice acting scene. He's not terribly new, but he plays one of the twins, and he plays, who's the main character in, wow, right out of my head. D. Grayman. He plays Alan Walker. He's really a talented voice actor, and he just got done being my assistant director on a Star Trek shoot that I directed, and we just hit it off. And so I love him to death. So he would be my choice. He or Steve? Yes.
I have Haichu.
You brought the Haichu. You guys ever had these?
Yeah.
I know you haven't. Check this out. They sell like Japanese candy and stuff.
At a convention? Really? Never.
No, not at conventions, like Target and stuff. Try this.
Let's try it. Gum? Or is it
No, it's like Starburst, but it has the coolest consistency because, of course, it's Japanese. So, isn't that awesome?
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love these. And they make them like in strawberry and grape and apple.
Peach.
I'm watching their faces right now. Heidi is like convulsing. Cool, right? He's like, yeah, this is really cool. Yes.
Oh, you're an ass.
That made my goodness.
See, this is what happens when you make somebody an officer in your fan club. They abuse you in public. If you ever get a fan club, don't let your officers come to the Q&A panel.
Alright, I know you've been asking me this probably 100,000 times, but I'm going to ask you 101 more. Will you please ask me out in dark spots?
She teases me all the time about that. Every time I see her at a convention, she'll run up and she'll say, you do it better. She'll ask me like all the main questions that people ask me. All like, wait.
Sing happy birthday to me in your Ed voice. Ask me out in Dark Mousie's voice. Sing happy birthday to me in Brawley's voice.
But that doesn't mean I won't do it.
Do the Commoner's Coffee line.
Commoner's Coffee. Come here. What's your name? You have to come close, Molly, because you know it's not spoken very loudly. This is Molly, everybody.
Hi, Molly.
And as crazy as oh look, it's using you.
I love you too, honey.
Wish you really? Molly, how'd you like to go on a date with Phantom Dot? You look lovely too. Did you get married today?
Yes. No.
Yes, so my husband's in the car. Question. How can you know all that? Yes.
How soon will the FNA dub be released here?
That's a great question. You know what? I know that they're talking with Cartoon Network, with Adult Swim about getting it on there. Because you know what? I mean, I have to say this. Full Metal was like the most popular thing they've had on Cartoon Network. They keep rerunning it. It's a very popular series for them.
For good reason.
I agree. But you know what? I don't know when that's going to happen. I can't imagine them not wanting it for broadcast, but I haven't heard anything. So we're just kicking away at the episodes. Like I said, I've already recorded the first 13, and I'm going back up next week because my dear Winry, Caitlin Glass, is getting married next Saturday. So I'm gonna. Yes, right? So you guys need to write like, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. And so I'm going back up there for that, and I'm tagging a few days on to record more Full Metal, so yes.
When you were a cop, what was one of the most craziest things that you ever had to do?
Oh, that's an awesome question. How many of you know that I used to be a police officer? And somebody right now is like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here, bro. And she said, what was one of the weirdest things? I had some weird things happen, you guys. But the weirdest one, wow, there were so many. What would be a weird, okay. Oh, this was the most dangerous one. You want to hear the most dangerous one? I was on a night shift, and I was a cop in Ocean City, Maryland. Yeah. Which is it's a beach town. Go figure, Ocean City, right? But it's a vacation town. So in the summertime, the population explodes, right? Because people are there for vacation. So there are like, 30,000 people that live there year-round, and then there are 300,000 that are there in the summer months. So they need police officers to take care of all extra people. So I was on a night shift on the boardwalk. The boardwalk is, games and rides and stuff all right along the shore. And I was walking along, and some little kid came up to me. I mean, like a little kid, like 10, 12 years old. And he goes, I think there's some people fighting down there in the alley. And I was like, all right, well, get out of here, because you don't want a little kid around. I said, go. And I called it in, had the radio, and I said, I called it in possible 10-10, which is a fight. And I walked down this alley. I walked off the boardwalk down the street, and then I turned down into this dark alley, and the alley kind of slants down into the dark, mousy. And so I start down, and some guy comes walking past me. And he's like, keeps his head down, and I was kind of looking him over. But, I thought, well, if there's something going on down there, I better get down there and make sure first. So he walked by, and I walked down the alley a little bit more. And I turned around, I turned this little corner, and there in the dark, only by the light of the moon, was this guy on the ground. And he looked up at me, and he had the crap beaten out of him. I mean, like, bad beat up. And I turned around and ran up the alley, and the guy that had passed me was heading toward the boardwalk. And I yelled, I'm like, hey! And he turns around, he starts running, so I start running after him. Now, as you know, like, cops have like 25 pounds of junk strapped around their waist, right? So I'm chasing this guy, and he runs into one of those little arcades, and he goes into one of those photo booths and pulls the curtain shut. So I come running into the arcade, and now I didn't pull my gun because he didn't have a gun. Contrary to stupid TV shows, you can't pull a gun on somebody if they don't have a weapon or your life is threatened. And him running away from me with no weapon, I have no justification to pull. Freeze! You can't do that. What if they keep running? You shoot them? No, you can't shoot them. You know what I mean? Because your life is not threatened. So I walk in, and I walk into the arcade, and I'm looking around, and like there are people standing there going. So I cleared him out, and I went up and I like kicked the thing. I mean, like shook the whole thing. And I said, and I had my hand on my nightstick. And I said, come out of there. And the guy, and this is what he does. He opens the curtain, he goes, what's trouble, officer? And I said, how about fighting? And I grab him and I spin him around, right? And I start cuffing him, and by this time some other officers have arrived. And I told him what's going on. And then we start taking him out of the arcade. And who comes stumbling up in front of the arcade but the guy that had been beaten up? He kind of followed us up, and he came up onto the boardwalk, and he's standing, and this is the first time we'd seen him in the light. And like long hair, kind of a hippie looking guy, but he's standing there, and he's kind of loose, kind of unsteady on his feet. And now we see him in the light. He's wearing this white t-shirt, and the entire front of his shirt is red with blood. And he goes like this, and lifts up his shirt, and there's a puncture wound in his chest, and there's blood just going like this out of the hole. And then he goes, it was funny, he goes,